Greg Lucas back upstairs. You know, earlier today, as we get set for the men's championship, I had a chance to chat with a couple of visually impaired people who also play racquetball. Let's listen in and see some of that action. Robert Hatcher is one of our visually impaired that we are seeing the exhibition with down on the court here between the matches here in the championship. And Robert, first of all, you've been quite an athlete before racquetball, a swimmer, swim coach at Mary Baldwin College now. First of all, what is your impairment? And then we'll talk a little bit about how you have to adapt for racquetball.
My impairment is that I have optic nerve atrophy, and I am extremely myopic, which means I'm extremely nearsighted. And I'm also colorblind, which makes a big difference for the sport of racquetball. When you're nearsighted, it means you see things real close, but you don't see things far away.
Now, what kind of adaptations, as we watch the match, are we seeing with the rules for the visually impaired?
For the visually impaired, we play with a multi-bounce rule, which means the ball can bounce as many times as the receiver wants, and the receiver may swing at it as many times as he wants. And it really helps the sport, but it slows the ball down to where we can see it. If we try to play under the regular rules, the ball moves too fast and we can't track the ball. By playing with multi-bounce, it really helps the visually impaired athlete to compete in this sport.
Let me ask you a question, though, about degrees of visual impairment. Obviously, we saw in past years wheelchair exhibitions. Well, everyone is in a wheelchair, but with visual impairment, there are different degrees. That would mean some can see better than others. That would also lead one to believe that it may be difficult to have it totally fair in a particular match. What's your thought on that?
Well, at this time, there are people who have lesser vision than I do, but with the multi-bounce rule, it allows the ball to slow down a great deal. They have plenty of time to react to the ball. Hopefully in the future, what we're planning on doing is when we get a lot of athletes in, that we will make a division for those people who have lesser ability and vision so that we can make it more fair.
We continue to see the action. There are several rules that are, as an example, as you watch this, the ball is considered dead in the rally over when the ball stops bouncing or is not struck by the receiver before the ball crosses the short line on its way back to the front wall. One exception to that is the blast rule. That's if the ball caroms front wall to back wall on the fly, the receiver may retrieve the ball from any place on the court. In other words, there are some adaptations, and that's what you're seeing on this. The competition for Robert Hatcher, the other competitor that we're taking a look at in the purple shirt, that's Jeff May, and we chatted with him as well. Jeff May has a Bachelor of Science from Indiana University and presently is a residence hall director at Austin College, visually impaired, participating in our racquetball exhibition here. Jeff, what is your impairment right now?
My impairment is called optic atrophy. It's a permanent nerve damage that I've had since birth, and I have very little peripheral vision, and I'm also nearsighted along with that.
You have really the same diagnosis then as Robert Hatcher, the man you're going against in this exhibition, but you don't always go against people that have the same degree of impairment. So sometimes the question I ask to him, is it always fair?
Right. A lot of times within our organization we have different vision classes, and within those vision classes there's a wide variety of degrees of vision. Field vision, central vision. Some people have no central vision but very good peripheral vision, and vice versa too. So it's a really interesting experience. Very good.
Well, that's Jeff May and Robert Hatcher as they continue to play. We take a look at the exhibition of visually impaired players out on the court. Stay with us, because coming up next we'll be having the men's singles championship in the open division, all at the U.S. National Racquetball Singles Championship from Houston.